Hi everyone. Today we're going to cover the vehicle calculation. This is a very useful tool when we want to see how much our gasoline costs, what is the economy efficiency of the vehicle, how much the vehicle is actually worth and cost based on taxes, based on repairs, based on fees, and it will help us get a great snapshot of all of this. Now, of course, click me first. The question that we answer is, what is the cost of my vehicle and fuel consumption? What do I need to know prior to that? Some tips for you. And of course, the glossary with if some items are not 100% clear. Okay, let's start with an example. So up here, I'm going to start with date purchased. And the reason we need a date purchase is because it would calculate our value based on a depreciation percentage. And so I would say today, just to pull a date minus, let's say 5 years. So that's 5 times 300, whoops, 5 times 365 days. So I bought it on the 6th of May, 2019. Great. Now, the gross vehicle price. Let's say I purchased the vehicle for 10,000 euros. Okay. What is the fuel cost per 100 kilometers? Those are formulas, so we're not going to touch them. So there it is. The year's own. I've owned it for 5 years. Let's say I want to add 4 months to it, so or 2 months, 60 days or 61 days, doesn't matter. Great. I had it for 4.83 years. Okay, that's more accurate. So we're going to look at those in a little bit. First of all, let's start here. When we purchase the vehicles, we have to get it transit plate. So that's, let's say, 50 euros. We gotta get a vignette. In most countries, especially in the European Union, it's necessary. That's what, 45 euros. Depend on the insurance. Let's say on yearly basis, this would be 500 euros. Eco tax, another 120. Vehicle tax, another 50. Technical inspection, 30 euros. Maybe I got a speeding ticket. That is again a tax from the government. That is 50 euros, and so on. Now, here is the other category, which are repairs and add-ons. So when we first purchase the vehicle, it usually goes to the shop. They change some belts, they change the oil. Maybe they see a major problem and they fix it. So let's say I had to pay another 1500 euros for all this. Oil change, we can include it, exclude it, doesn't matter, another 80. I want a better sound system, great, that's 300 euros. Winter tires says we need to change them every season. I mean, switch them every season. That's in the, what, 400 euros. And here we would add all of the repairs. Some lights, well, that's too much. We need to change the Freon, that's 160. AC repair, it's another 200. Wiper blades are what, 20 euros, and so on. So we put all of our repairs here, all of our taxes here, and all of our repairs here. Okay. Here is where we put the fuel cost. So we pick a date, it can be any date. Let's say today, perfect. And we say total fuel cost. So let's say I fill out my entire tank for 100 euros. How many liters? And let's say it was 2 euros per liter, which is completely inaccurate, but for easier calculation, let's put 50 liters. And I've driven 900 kilometers with this. Perfect. So now my consumption per 100 kilometers is 5.56 liters. Now we can do the same like this, and we would say, you know what, here it was 120, 130, 125, and we're gonna increase this plus 5, whoops, okay. And the liters are about the same, 52, 51, 49, 50, 55, 53, 55, okay. Kilometers, they're 750, 800, 931, 900, 900, and so on. Okay, so now we have our average consumption. For example, of course, when with 200 when 52 liters, if I pulled 750 kilometers, my average consumption would be almost 7 liters per 100 kilometers, meaning most likely that I was driving in a city setting, in an urban setting. If I was driving outside just 90 kilometers or 100 kilometers per hour, constant speed without overwhelming the vehicle, braking very often, I'll have something very low, like for example here, 526. Because for 49 liters, I managed to travel 931 miles. So let's look at some numbers now. It costs us, which is very, very expensive, 14.68 euros for every 100 kilometers. This is very useful whenever we want to compare vehicles. The fuel consumption per 100 is 597, that's the average. I've owned it for 4.83 years. So my monthly cost, this is very useful again when we look at different vehicles. Something I want to add here. When we purchase a vehicle, we often don't consider the cost associated with it. Insurance, tires, more expensive gasoline, more repairs, higher cost of insurance. But at the end of the day, a vehicle takes us from a point A to a point B. So it's very useful to know how much exactly we spent on a vehicle. So when we consider a different vehicle, we can say, you know what, my monthly cost with gasoline is 210 euros. If I want to buy a big American pickup truck and it's gonna cost me 500 euros, is the 300 extra euros extra worth it for what I'm getting? So having that data is I think it's very useful. So the monthly cost of the vehicle itself, the taxes per month, and repair and add-ons. So this would be kind of an equivalent for what we have for the 10 grand. Today, how much it would be worth. So it would be, if we paid cash, this would be the equivalent of paying about 130 euros per month. The fuel consumption per month, of course, and the current resale value. So the way we do it, and we've left it here inside the 15, so it can be easier. So here we can change this 15 to something that works for us. So maybe our resale value depreciates with 12% a year. We change it, and there we go. At 12% for the 4.83 years, our vehicle will be worth 4,000, which of course produces this delight here. Yeah. And here we can say, you know what, it's a very expensive car, it depreciates much faster. So we're going to say 20%. And at almost 5 years, we have no value if we lose 20%. So let's leave it at 10%. It's fine. We have lost 5 years, 10%, about half of what we've had. Perfect. Of course, this is an approximation. The idea is for us to have an idea. So when we look at the graph, we can see the total fuel cost and the consumption that we have. So basically, when the price of fuel decreases, we will have more liters and subsequently we'll be able to travel more. So we always want to have both lines being kind of stable, flat. We don't want any high fluctuation, but here you'll be able to see how much it costs for your vehicle as consumption and as total fuel cost. Thank you and stay healthy.